So we're starting a brand new unit. So this is now unit 5, although it's in chapter 4, so that's why it says 4.1 notes. So today's lesson is about the area of a parallelogram. So the area of a rectangle, if you remember from earlier or from last year, is length times width. So we can use that formula to derive the area of a parallelogram. So the word derive basically means to come up with. So we're going to use the formula for the area of a rectangle to come up with the formula for the area of a parallelogram. So we actually did this in class today. So to do this, what you do is you cut a triangle off of the parallelogram, and then you slide it to the other side, and when you do that and you reattach it, you get a rectangle. So we already know that the formula for a rectangle is length times width. So by cutting the triangle off of the parallelogram and sliding it to the other side, you're getting a rectangle. So the formula is pretty much the same. So the piece that we drew and cut off ends up being the height of the parallelogram. And then you have the bottom, which is the width, which is also called the base. So basically the base and height are your formula that you're multiplying to get your parallelogram. So an important thing is the base and the height always have to make a 90-degree angle. So think of like when you're going to the doctor and they're measuring how tall you are, they're having you stand nice and straight, not slouched over. So you're standing at a 90-degree angle with the floor. So your base and your height have to make that same straight 90-degree angle. So because we have the base and the height, which match the length and the width, the formula for a parallelogram is just base times height, which is pretty much the same thing as length times width. When you are multiplying your base times your height, you're actually multiplying two labels along with it. You just don't think of that. So when you're multiplying them out, your label has to have a 2 above it, which means squared. And the reason is because for the example down here, you're not only multiplying 3 times 10, you're multiplying yards times yards, which is yards squared with an exponent. So you always have to put a 2 above the area label every single time. So pause and try these two. You're literally just multiplying the two numbers that you see, the base and the height. The little square is just showing you that the base and the height form that 90-degree right angle that I was talking about. So pause, try those two. The last part for this section, this is a really small section, is finding the area of the shaded part of a parallelogram. So what that means is like for this one, you have this purple parallelogram, and then you have a white rectangle inside of it. They want us to find the area of the shaded blue part, so everything but the rectangle. So what you do is you find the area of both of the shapes, the area of the parallelogram, which is base times height, and then the area of the rectangle, which is length times width. And since you don't want the rectangle, you subtract those two areas. So the area of the parallelogram minus the area of the rectangle gives you the area of the shaded part. So try this one, pause the video and see if you can figure that one out. You're doing the area of the parallelogram, so base times height for the parallelogram, length times width for the rectangle, and then you're going to subtract the 2, and that will give you the shaded part.